Hey everybody, welcome to weightlifting.ai YouTube. I am Max Aita. This is Joshua Gibson, my sports scientist. And we are going to talk about some weightlifting here. Loredana Toma, can't stop, won't stop. Let's check it out. So, Weightlifting House, shoving their ads into every video they can.
It's very cleverly placed.
Change
and
that
again, we
resolution.
have to make sure Toma's in 1080p.
Right, my bad on that one. I like to keep it 360. It reminds me of my childhood.
240 reminds me of mine, so I don't know what that says about it. Okay.
So there she is.
You can follow her on Instagram.
Yep, pretty solid. So she's interesting because I've seen her train in person. We were in Peru 2019, I want to say. And she is very serious. Exactly what you'd think. The Tominator. She just absolutely hammering lifts. And it was like all business. Came in, every rep was just like 100% focus and energy. She didn't have a sort of happy-go-lucky kind of training demeanor, which you can definitely see here. But yeah, it was fun. Really fun to watch her train.
Have you ever spoken to her or heard her interact with people? Because it feels like she's just serious. All the time.
No, she intimidates me a lot.
Yeah.
I'm very scared of her, so I just kept my distance.
Just watch her from a distance?
Yeah. I put a chair between us just in case, she got mad at me or something, walk in front of her. No, she seems pretty nice. I think she's just, she's intense. She cares about stuff.
Yeah.
It's an interesting little shoulder warm up there. I think that's from Squat University.
She's also one of those people who has slightly unorthodox technique.
Oh, interesting.
She kind of gets behind the bar in the start.
Yeah.
Right off the floor, tips over, hips come up, knees straighten quite a bit, and then she gets behind the bar a little bit.
Yeah. I know, I don't know. I'm curious what her training is like, her training programs are like based on what we kind of know of other Romanian lifters.
Right, like Gabriel Sincrain.
Gabriel, I was thinking even of Dragomir Sirslan, who was here in the US back in the early 90s. I have the old OTC training program from Dragomir.
Really? I would love to see that.
I can bring it in sometime.
Oh, yeah, I'll do a little article about it.
Yeah, it's $12 to rent a day. So
I don't have that.
But no, it's like a shitload of volume.
Yeah.
It's a ton of volume. He's got a ton of interesting ways to approach the volume.
Yeah.
So they'll do waves up and down and just all these different things.
Because that's ultimately what it's about, right?
Right.
Like when they go in, when Toma goes in for a session, she does triples up, then doubles, then singles.
Yeah.
It's not because there's some magic to it. It's you need to get a certain amount of work. This is the best way to do it.
Yeah, exactly. But so snappy, so powerful. So she's an interesting lifter because we see, she has great concise movement, but she's pretty much I want to say maximum power from the beginning, but she's moving that bar aggressively. Yeah. Right? She moves well so she can control the force, but you sometimes see lifters that are like we saw, Akbar Duraev and Ruslan, right? And they were just so methodical.
Yeah.
Every lift looked like it was the same power. 120 moved just as well and just as fast as 180 in the snatch. Where she's you can see she's putting a lot of power into it.
She's got an incredible pull under the barbell, just snaps into the squat. Yeah,
the footwork too. It's really aggressive with the footwork.
Really
Obviously,
aggressive with the footwork.
Known for it too, right? In the jerk, that whole Toma shuffle, which I think is it's funny because it's weird, and everyone's oh, okay, look at the weirdness of it. But it definitely is within the bounds of acceptable technique because it works. But it's interesting because it's something you can kind of use a little bit, mimic and steal, and use it as a drill to kind of improve the skill in the jerk.
Well, it's we were talking about with Nino. He gets his knees so far away from the bar, and the bar sits out so much.
Yeah.
So you would almost teach to that, but no one's going to be able to do it unless you're really strong and really athletic.
Yeah. So 90 looking, or 85 looking light.
Yeah, it's when we were watching Nino and Carlos snatch 130, 120.
Yeah.
It's so light, you don't even notice how heavy it is until you read the numbers.
Yeah, it's interesting you watch that last one. If you can watch her now with these heavier weights, 95 here, she starts getting behind the bar more. Yeah. And we talked about this too, the more you start getting behind the bar, the more that horizontal component of the bar trajectory starts to play into it.
Right.
Getting way behind the bar, not proportional to the power and the velocity of the bar moving upward starts to throw some weirdness into the trajectory, right?
And you have to have such a strong overhead because you're going to add that horizontal movement,
Yeah.
and you're going to have to try to fix it and keep it from pulling your shoulders back.
Yeah, so this is actually pre-COVID. This is the 100 kilos. This is Rome 2020, right?
Yep.
I guess
right.
I can tell that from reading the background there.
I'm surprised you can read.
It's a skill I went to public school in Montana, so. But,
right. 100 kilos moving like a toy.
Such a strong opener. You just know that felt so good.
Yeah. And her best is like 115.
Yeah,
right?
I think it's right around there. 114, I believe, was the record she was trying, and I don't know,
she's made 15 in training.
Yeah, she never quite hit it. It's interesting too because she's a 64 here.
Yeah.
She's gonna have to go to like 71.
Yeah.
Right, to be having a shot in the Olympics.
Wow.
Super solid 105.
So easy.
Yeah.
And we did see Mo Sharon in the background, so she was also at the same meet.
Yep. So good, 113. That's a big jump.
It's a massive snatch.
Wow.
This would have been a world record at the time, maybe.
Yeah, 13.
That's why
I
she
can
did
see
it.
that. We have no idea what we're talking about.
Just
possibly.
We're just making all this up.
Right? Yeah, I would be surprised if she can't make that.
Oh man.
Cuts away. Weightlifting with the clever editing. Cut away.
A little behind it. That looked so easy.
Yeah.
I mean, it looked like she had 16 or 17 or
yeah. I almost expect the way he was cutting that, Seb.
She's gonna
I thought he was going to zoom in on her face. The classic weightlifting angle that everybody wants.
At every competition, what he should have done is put the camera on the platform right in front of her.
Maybe put it in the platform right up
Yeah.
on their face so you can really see the action.
And you just need to see how many veins are sticking out of the neck.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, on to clean and jerk. I always say this: if she can snatch 113, she's in shape for a big clean and jerk. Like, there's no reason why she wouldn't have legs for something. Something huge.
Watch her footwork too. I love that.
That's such a Ivan Shakarov jerk where feet are super narrow.
Boevsky used to do that.
Really?
Boevsky, he wouldn't even move his back foot the first couple light weights, then he just kind of stepped forward into the jerk. It's interesting too, she starts pretty light. I mean, for someone who's clean and jerking as much as she is, going from 45, like, these have got to be really easy after snatching 113.
And the board just pops up.
I mean, shit, it's 45. Jesus.
Yeah. Let's see what the footwork looks like.
Boom.
Oh, it's so great.
That's actually really good for her. Sometimes she looks like she's like that front foot hasn't even come off the ground and she's already got the back foot down. That might happen if she gets heavier, but
which is generally like, I think, good technical cueing for a jerk with people who struggle is like stay on your front foot as long as you can.
Yep.
It's going to keep the back foot close and keep you kind of in the right length of the split.
Yeah, it's kind of a funny movement, right? Because from the outside observer, it looks like you're just doing a split, and you just pick your feet up and plant them back down. But it's like so subtly different than that.
I feel like that's how old school coaches would describe it though and teach it. It's like pick your feet up, put them back down. It's kind of like the whole jump and catch thing for the snatch.
Yeah, and then like step out,
reach.
Everybody says all that shit all the time, but it's like, you know, it's not worth saying, but what else are you going to do? Not say anything? Like, they're going up for a big lift on the platform, you're just going to stand there and be like, oh, I hope they do it.
It's like when someone's squatting and they start to grind, you have to yell up.
Yeah.
I mean, it's almost a requirement.
Everyone knows the direction is up. I'm saying up to give you the moral support. Like, I don't really care if you make the lift. I just want to make you feel like, you know, someone cares about this.
After they miss it, they're going to be scratching their heads. Like, you started moving down, so I was trying to remind you that you actually need to move up.
You went the wrong direction.
You went the wrong direction on that one. And there's another Team Italy lifter. I forget her name, but I think she is an Olympic medalist, if I'm not wrong. I think she got silver.
What class?
64. Yeah, behind.
She's got, like, what has she got, 121 on there?
Yeah.
Pretty good.
I mean, just how would you feel warming up next to Toma, watching her take, 115 or 110 and make it look that easy?
I mean, first off, I'd be like, why am I lifting in a women's session?
Okay.
But then I'd also be, if I was as strong as I was then, I'd be like, I'm going to kill this. I'm going to smash this girl.
Right. You pull out a squat rack and go to a max.
I'm going to press out 135 so much better than her. No, I mean, she's intimidating, but everyone here is good.
Yeah.
You know, it's like she's intimidating and strong and whatnot, but like, you know, some of these girls are are right there with her, you know.
It's not quite Lasha, basically, is what you're saying. Like, it's not quite when Lasha starts warming up for snatches and everyone's pretty much like,
I gotta wonder what that's like, warming up next to Lasha and just like knowing there's zero chance you're gonna get gold. Like, there's just no matter how good you are.
Well, you're snatching your clean and jerk more, most likely.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah. Okay, so she's going out for her first attempt at 122. Snatch 113, so this should be a walk in the park.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
She's one of those lifters that's like, I try to talk about like what's fun about lifting, and like there's lifters that are really good that just like, unfortunately for them, they're not that exciting with 130. This big 130.
That was a big jump.
But like, you just don't get behind them. You don't have like that story. You don't have that like interest. They have no personality. It's funny because Toma is very like stone faced and like just a total like, you know, she's not a wild personality online or anything, but she's so much fun to follow and get behind. You want to see her do well because like you do feel like some connection to her, right? It's like, oh, this is really cool to watch this person fight and struggle for these lifts.
And clean and jerk at 300 pounds at 64.
Yeah, I mean, she's not weak.
She's very strong.
So good.
Yeah, plenty of pull.
Yeah, she gets the bar so high on her hip. It's really awesome.
Just
nice
jerk.
Great editing by Weightlifting House here. Cut away. Right at the moment of truth.
Critical moment.
Boom.
Just sticks the jerk. Looks great. 13:36. It's just a massive day.
Yeah.
And she's excited. And I think what you said about, you know, getting behind people, having character, she almost doesn't need it because people just assume that she's like angry and cold and just like the Tominator.
That's just to me.
She's
just like that to me. Yeah, but it's cool. There's Niku Vlad. That's kind of cool. Vlad gets to give her a medal. Obviously, he's no longer in weightlifting. But yeah, that's cool to get a medal from basically the best weightlifter in your country.
Yeah. So I mean, that was an excellent video. You couldn't go wrong watching Toma and trying to mimic some of her technical qualities.
For sure. Super cool. All right, guys, if you enjoyed that video, go ahead and check the rest of what we got out here at weightlifting.ai YouTube and like and subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.